From the late 15th century, European powers embarked on ambitious voyages to the east. India, with its strategic location and abundant resources, became a focal point of these colonial aspirations. Portuguese explorers, led by Vasco da Gama, were the first to establish a foothold in India, followed by the Dutch and the English. The Portuguese quickly established a network of coastal trading posts to control the lucrative spice trade. The Dutch East India Company, founded in 1602, emerged as a formidable force. The English East India Company, established in 1600, also set its sights on India's riches. These companies, backed by their respective governments, engaged in fierce competition for trade and territory. The Dutch East India Company, known by its Dutch acronym VOC, quickly established itself as a major player in the Indian Ocean trade. Their superior naval power and organizational skills allowed them to capture important Portuguese strongholds like Malacca. From these strategic bases, the Dutch expanded their influence into the Indian subcontinent. They established trading posts in key locations like Surat, Cochin, and Hooghly, competing directly with the Portuguese and English. The Portuguese, despite early setbacks, continued to pose a challenge. The English East India Company, though initially weaker, gradually emerged as a formidable rival. The Mughal Empire, which ruled over much of India at the time, also presented a significant obstacle. Despite their early successes, the Dutch faced several challenges that eventually led to their decline in India. Unlike the British, who gradually expanded their control over land, the Dutch primarily concentrated on securing trading posts and controlling maritime routes. This strategy left them vulnerable to rivals willing to engage in more aggressive expansion. The Battle of Bedara in 1759 marked a turning point, with the British East India Company's decisive victory shattering Dutch aspirations in Bengal. Furthermore, the Fourth Anglo-Dutch War, 1780 to 1784, further eroded Dutch power, depleting resources and leading to territorial losses. These defeats significantly weakened their position in India. The British East India Company adopted a different strategy that ultimately proved more successful. While the Dutch focused on trade, the British gradually expanded their territorial control. They exploited divisions within the Mughal Empire and skillfully played different Indian rulers against each other. The Battle of Plassey in 1757 marked a pivotal moment in British ascendancy, giving them control over Bengal. Over the next century, the British East India Company, through military campaigns and political maneuvering, became the dominant power in India. The Dutch, lacking the same territorial ambitions and military resources, could not compete with this relentless expansion. The colonial struggles between European powers, particularly the Dutch and the British, had a profound and lasting impact on India. While the Dutch ultimately failed to establish a lasting colonial empire in India, their presence influenced cultural exchange and trade patterns. The British, through their eventual dominance, reshaped India's political, economic, and social landscape. Their rule led to the exploitation of India's resources, the imposition of British laws and institutions, and the suppression of Indian industries. The legacy of British colonialism continues to shape India today, from its political system to its social structures. The story of the Dutch failure to colonize India highlights the importance of strategic decision-making, military power, and adaptability. It also underscores the lasting impact of colonialism on the Indian subcontinent.